Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another day of the video. Darren, how's it going today? Today, it is Wednesday, it's halfway through the week. I'm starting to get a bit of cabin fever from having to stay in all the time, but we are going out today. We're going for an explore in the afternoon because we're walking on into town after lunch, which is going to be grand. So I'm heading out for a bit tomorrow as well, to sort some stuff out for Easter. But otherwise though, what's been going on so far today? Today I woke up at my normal time. Recently I've been going to bed at about like 12:30 and getting up at about between 6:30 and 7, usually 1:45, if you were unaware of what was in between those two figures. But the words, things, what am I saying? But yeah, so I got up this morning, had a shower, got dressed straight away. But I came into here and didn't have breakfast, so what I did instead was pulled out my Surface and started doing a little bit of work on my dissertation, just like throwing in some paragraphs and stuff left, right and centre. It's because it's going to be a bit of a slog getting through this dissertation, but it is the kind of thing where if you've got 30 minutes, I can more or less churn out a paragraph, you know what I mean? I don't need to sit and devote hours and hours and hours on it. It's good. What I keep doing though is I keep moving on to the next step, onto like the next chapter, and then I keep, not chapter, sorry, the other word that I'm thinking of, which isn't chapter, the next section, although latex calls them chapters. I don't really guess, I guess I don't have chapters, but yeah, I keep going into the next bit and then going back and moving a chunk out of the next bit into the previous bit. I am about to actively start the next bit, but yeah, I keep like shuffling everything up, because I'm like, oh, maybe this should be more of an introduction thing, it's more of an introduction to the space rather than, because my first two sections are introduction and then problem description, so there's like background knowledge that I need to explain before I can then go into the describing the problem, and I keep going, right, okay, now I'm ready to describe the problem, and then I realise I'm describing something that's actually background knowledge. So yeah, but it's looking good so far, to be honest with you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm in a good way about it. When I go into town, it's likely, because I'm going to be helping Laura out with some stuff, it's likely I'm going to be sat around waiting for her for a bit, so I'm charging up my Surface ready to rock. So that I can do some work in town as well. Or do some blogging, whatever floats my biscuit, really. Biscuit boat. I just spent, well, not a ridiculous amount of time, but a decent amount of time filling out bits of the problem description, and like I've used some code snippets in order to explain what's really going on. So the problem, what I was trying to do is I've now got these little links now to the appendix, and in the appendix I've got actual code, although the code isn't, obviously it's just generic code or whatever, but like being able to do that and format that in a way, because I was originally going to have it like in a table, so I'd have the unit test side by side with the actual test, but it just looks terrible because latex obviously has like, it's not text file, is it? It's it has padding and all that kind of shit, and it just looks grim. And I'm like, right, fuck it, we're just going to put it in the appendix and link it out like that. So we're having fun. We're having fun so far. I've now got to go through and walk the the person through what's wrong with all of basically the two pieces of code that I've just implemented. I have to explain like what the reasoning is around that. It's going to be difficult because I'm going to have to keep referring back to it, I'm going to have to keep quoting parts of it, and it's going to be a bit of a mess, but we will see, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be good fun. I've also like stripped it out and put it into a different document as well, so that my entire latex file isn't ruined by a big chunk of code in the middle of it. It's going well, ladies and gentlemen. It takes time to do like all things like the formatting and stuff. But I think we're slowly motoring on through. We're slowly making progress. Relative to the group coursework that we did recently, and potentially even the HCI coursework, it feels slower. It feels a little bit more sluggish. Like, progress is a bit slower. But I think that's mainly because the like the process of going through and pulling out references and properly explaining everything, I think the concepts in this are a little bit more difficult to explain, because to me they're really simple, but to anyone reading this it's not going to be really simple. And I'm trying to go through and I'm like, everything I'm saying I'm backing up with references and making sure that it comes across properly and all that kind of stuff. I'm getting to points where I'll be able to refer back to different parts of my previous stuff, so my lit review and all that kind of malarkey. So it's going to very quickly, like, rapidly increase in size. But it's a case of I'm pulling things over nicely, trying to make this as good as possible, which is probably a good thing considering how much it's worth. I am conscious of the fact that it does need doing, and it needs doing. I need to spend a lot of time doing it as well. Fun. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm having emails. With like really interesting, exciting emails, but I believe like the timings aren't going to work. No, they're not. Thursday, the 31st. To the 3rd of April. It would work, but I'm limited. I can only do Saturday, Friday or Saturday, and I'd have to go via Nottingham. I'm in Nottingham at that point. So it cocks things up a bit. Yeah, so I've been doing some emails and stuff, and there are a couple of things coming up that would be quite interesting to do. One of which is definitely going ahead, and another thing is coming up. It depends on the times and dates, because of going back to Nottingham. Things become a little bit more complicated and my availability slips a bit. But I'm available specifically on 2 days. But it kind of depends on like the details of what it is that's going on, because obviously I'm back in Nottingham, so I want to spend a bit of time with Dad and friends and whatnot, so I'd prefer to be only available on one of those days, but we'll see how it goes. Like, to be honest with you, it's an interesting enough thing to be like, well, YOLO. It's kind of once in a lifetime. Well, not once in a lifetime, but you know what I mean. So yeah. Right then, let's get back into work. Got a bit sidetracked there. Dad's supposed to be ringing me at some point today, but he hasn't so far. Which time it is, ladies and gentlemen. What I'm bad at, I'm going to be honest here, bad at is dropping out into a different task, doing that different task and then immediately getting back into something else. It takes me so long to start, like, I took a break from my dissertation to do something else, and it took me so long to get back onto the dissertation. I need to improve that, I really do. Just kind of flip from like pointless time wasting shit to other version of pointless time wasting shit rather than actually getting anything done. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now heading on into town. The weather is ever so nice. Oh dear, football just went over hedge. That poor little kid. Yeah, so I can't get it by the way either, I'm not just being an arsehole. Yeah, we're gonna have a nice stroll down into town in order to meet Laura after work, because she's got some errands to run and I'm there to help her out. But also I want to go and have a look in Curry's and also in a skateboarding, longboarding shop in town. I want to basically ask someone some advice about what to get. What is going on there? Oh, someone digging with a skip thing. It's all kicking off. Everyone's out in force because it's sunny. So yeah, I want to go and ask someone about how much, like, what do I need to consider? Because I've read a lot of things online about longboards and the like, and I just don't know what I need in my little life. And I'm conscious of the fact that what I'm looking at is like £65. And I mean, you can get cheap bikes for that price, really cheap bikes, but you see what I mean, that's the balance. Like, is a longboard really as good as a really cheap bike? I mean, to be fair, it probably is dirt cheap. You probably can't get a bike for that price, but for not much more you could get a bike. Anyway, that's by the way. So yeah, I want to go down there and have a look at like what they've got, see if they can sell one to me. But yeah, like £65 I think is a bit steep. That's the one I've seen on Amazon, and I know this shop has one at £65 as well. But anyway, so we're going to do that. We're going to have a look around some shops and whatever before we meet up with Laura. That's about it. I need to get some change for bus as well before we come back home. Otherwise, it's just nice to get out and about, to be honest with you. Been cooped up the past 2 days. On my dissertation and stuff. I've got my Surface so that I can do more work or blogging if I find time. But yeah, I'm conscious of the fact I didn't bring a spare camera battery, so I don't want to blab on too long. In fact, I just want to reference, make some comments about like my blogging stuff. So I said the other day, didn't I? I was basically looking for something to do that was a little bit more fun, as like a bit of a break, a bit of a like a creative break to flex the creative side of your brain. Up until now, I've had programming to do that. I don't really require the same kind of creative stuff when I'm doing my own development. So while I was doing my final year project, I was just happily spending all day doing my final year project. Now, when I'm doing my report, I get to points where I'm like, I start to slow down, and then it's probably better for me to shift onto a more meaningful task that I'm probably going to get better at, what I'm basically saying is I want to find something that doesn't necessarily take up too much time, but is something that can be a little bit more productive than watching a YouTube video or playing a game or something. So what I thought is I'd start doing blogs again, very slowly. I mean, like, I've written a paragraph of a blog so far, so I'm not devoting a lot of time to it. It's literally as a break from other things, in like the odd half hour I have where I can't be bothered to do report work, but I want to do something productive. What I'm doing with reference to that is I have a big backlist of things that I wanted to make videos about and blogs about in the past. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to produce these blogs basically in the order that I wanted to release them a long time ago, and then I'm just going to release them as if they're perfectly in time. So there will be a blog about like summer in the city and some of the stuff that happened over summer last year with curries and whatnot. Blogs that I've already started, that I just wanted to like devote time to finish it. So that we like, I think one's called like Getting Noticed, another one is a review for my Surface. Like, I don't need to do a review for my Surface for curries, but it's something that I want to do because I think I'll be good at it. And they contact me every now and again with challenges, and I don't tell you about this for obvious reasons. They contact me every now and again with like little challenges, and they've always said like, you don't have to do any of the challenges. And I'm like, good, because I've got no time. So while I'm starting blogging and stuff very, very slowly, you'll notice that I'm not doing it just for curries, but it's partially for a couple of things that I want to do for them as well, to essentially keep them sweet, essentially potentially open a door for me to move into the kind of part-time job of reviewing stuff, potentially. But I don't think they want my audience. I think they want a reviewer for their website that is best well placed to do that kind of thing, i.e. a young person who kind of knows about computers, but I don't know. And either way, I have a rule on my this is half of the reason actually where nothing's kind of come out. I have a rule on my main channel and on my blog that no two things that are similar can be next to each other. Ever since the days of where I got into a rut of doing the interesting word of the week a fucking long time ago, I don't want to get into a rut of doing the same thing over and over again. So I did a first impressions for the Surface, and then I had a couple of other videos planned, didn't have time for them, and then I got 90% of the way through planning a full review of the Surface, and that hasn't come out, partially because I haven't had time to do it, and partially because I don't want to take things next to each other. So yeah, there's that as well. Does that make sense? But yeah, either way, I have a number of different things that I want to write before I'll put up the Surface Pro 3 review, which is probably going to put me in a, like, even then, like by the time I get to there, I've probably graduated in a way. So it's more like I'm slowly warming up to getting back back into doing YouTube and blogging, or this guy's very interested in me talking. I think he can hear me. Or I'm creating a backlog of things. Like there's blogs that I've written that go with a video, so those blogs are going to have to just sit on my hard drive until I make the video. So anyway, walk into town, save my camera battery, and avoid getting judged. So longboards, however, the other thing that I'm conscious of is the fact that I want to basically have a longboard and all the benefits of being able to essentially skateboard into town really quickly without any of the drawbacks. So like if you have a bike, you've got to have a helmet and all that kind of crap. You've got to then lock it up when you get places. Longboard, in theory, you can pick up and take with you, so I could longboard it into work and then just put it next to my desk. I want to know and I want to understand how difficult it might be to longboard in shoes that are either Converse or black pointy shoes. I'm going to imagine it's quite difficult because I don't want to wear different shoes for it. I don't want to leave shoes at work and then skateboarding in skateboard shoes, and then, you know what I mean? I don't have to buy shoes for them, is what I'm saying. Also, like I can imagine it's quite easy just thinking on them. It's stopping. They don't have brakes, do they? So you've got to put your foot down. I guess that's the thing, I don't know. Way too early, is it? Well, I'm not in town yet, but I mean, it's taken me half an hour to get here. That's bad, man. It means I basically have like an hour and a bit to kill before Laura even finishes. Oops. Well, I've learnt a lot. I've also learnt that most of their boards are £100 and up. But I mean, I got to stand on a couple of them and I know what I want now, so that's good. Yes, that's one of the only real problems with ordering one online. It's like I've got no idea what it's like, you know. I always walk past the Sky place and I want them to talk to me, and they never do, because I want them to offer me some internet, and then I'll be like, no mate, I'd like my money, thank you. Short though, I want a low down and wide board. So, right, just gotta find one. I feel like what I need to do is just order it and get it over and done with. It's a lot of money, that's the problem. And another issue I've got to get over as well is feeling like a bit of a twat walking into the shops. I feel like I don't really fit in well in a longboard shop, you know, mainly because they're all cool skateboard kids, you know, and I'm not that. I'm like I like to dress smart and formal. I just want a longboard as well, and also I guess I feel quite a lot taller on a board as well, but anyway, we're gonna do it. And all of my errands have been run, so now I sit at the harbour side looking at this lovely view right in my lovely dissertation. And it's too cold to do any kind of meaningful work. In fact, it's so cold I've got my mittens on and Laura's scarf on, which is lovely and warm and smells lovely. It smells exactly like her, it's great. And home again, ladies and gentlemen. We've got a bit of a time jump because we're about to head off to bed. A bit tired today, the late night's catching up with me, obviously. It was productive in town, got everything sorted they need to get sorted, and all seemingly everything went to plan, which is good as well. So we came back, we had lasagna for dinner, and then we watched a bit of TV, had Graham out, and it's all round general like, it's been a long day. Although I ordered a longboard. It's official, it's on its way. Hopefully it should get to us before, like within a week. It estimated deliveries the 30th to the 4th, which is awkward because that's over a period of time when I'm not around, but hopefully Amazon usually over predicts their delivery times in my book, but we'll see. Exciting. I just went balls to the wall and did it. Because I've been thinking about it for so long, and it's just a case of just do it. Treat yourself. What was the last thing I bought? A long time ago. Alright. Thanks for watching, ladies and gentlemen. I'll catch you later.